Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Not a Boring Real Estate Podcast. We're your hosts, Ryan Domas.
I'm Diego Vasquez.
And we're here with our special guest today, Ted Learakos of United American Mortgage. He facilitates teams of lenders that are in-house lenders, top lenders in all of Southern California. We're happy to have you here today, Ted.
It's a pleasure to be here.
Ted, what's up, man? Happy to have you, brother.
I can't tell you how excited I am. And I want to propose a toast because I just saw your last podcast and it was not boring.
Dude,
it was not boring.
Yeah, thank you. That was super cool to hear from.
And I want to share with you what you're all drinking because you probably don't know.
What are we drinking today?
This is the Revenge of Zeus.
Ooh, the Revenge of Zeus.
The Revenge of Zeus. Because I'm Greek, I figured, I've seen you drink whiskey last time, and I thought this would be an appropriate, refreshing change on a 110-degree day.
I love it.
110.
Awesome, man. Perfect.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, we're so happy to have you, man, and we can't wait to get started with you. So we'll just go right into it. What do you think?
Well, first off, I'm happy people are watching this podcast, man. Like it's really cool to hear that somebody's actually listening to us. So thank you everybody that's been paying attention. Again, we're just trying to bring some really good information to you guys in a not so boring way. So yeah, let's get started. First things first. A lot of people are talking about recession. They're talking about, the economy's going to crash, and everybody's mother, aunt, uncle is saying that they're waiting for the houses to fall before they go and buy something. So Ted, tell us what's different from, the 2008 crash till now. Like, what do you think's going to happen?
Well, first off, the main difference is people have jobs. The employment market is incredible. And that wasn't the case in 2008. The second thing is, leading up to 2008, you had the subprime, anybody could get a loan, they could fog a mirror, they could get a loan and put no money down. They could get a loan and put no money down and get $25,000 for a new car to put in the garage. And they didn't have to prove income.
Dude, I've never heard that. That's awesome. You could get a new car.
It was a fantastic program, but they flamed out. That isn't happening now because since the Dodd-Frank law was passed, people have to actually qualify. And so you're going to have less flameouts than you had then. Plus, here's the other thing. In 2006-07, they were building houses in California like crazy. There was an oversupply anyway.
Yeah, like D.R. Horton, there was a ton that I would see everywhere.
It wasn't great demand. Well, so what do we see now? We don't see builders building in California. They're heavily regulated, cheaper to build a house in another state.
Well, let's play devil's advocate. I mean, what if, let's just say, what do you think would cause the crash?
If unemployment starts to deteriorate, that could cause, and I won't call it a crash. I am not a crash theorist. And I am a guy who predicted the crash in 2008 because I had a client come up to my office and he said, I'm going to buy a $2 million house in Orange Park Acres. I'm not going to put any money down. What do you do for a living? I'm a mailman. You're a mailman. Okay. You must work very good at your job. How are you going to pay it? Well, I don't have any income other than my $60,000. Can you get me a loan? No, I can't get you a loan. There's product out there, but I have a mirror I want to look in, so I'm not going to get you a loan. He goes upstairs to the 12th floor where there was a company called Ameriprise. They're gone now. God rest their soul.
For good reason.
Yeah, for God rest their soul. Yeah. So they're gone now. Yeah. He comes downstairs and he said, look, I got my loan. He did. He got a loan.
Yeah, and you're an idiot.
And he defaulted. He didn't make the payment. Ameriprise is gone. He's gone. Lost the house. That's not going to happen this time.
Okay,
in my humble opinion. And I'm not Nostradamus, but I've seen since 1980 a lot of bumps in the road and a lot of brick walls hit. I don't think this is a brick wall.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear that because CNN and a lot of the other media companies are telling everybody that this is the wrong time to buy. They're kind of scaring everybody away right now. And they go from the next hot button issue to the other. And let's see, you started in the 80s, right?
1980.
Oh, that is awesome. And
you guys got to see a picture of his mullet.
You got to see this hair, man. We'll flash it on the screen so you guys can see it on out there on YouTube. But what was it like when you first started in the 80s?
Well, okay, so let me tell you how the business itself was different. as a loan officer, when I started in 1980, I was in another industry. My wife and I went to buy our first house. The loan officer told us we were going to get 11.5% interest, and this is going to be your payment. And we were fine with that.
11.5%, guys.
28 days later, we go in there to sign our loan docs. It's 13.5% interest. I called the loan officer. I go, hey, buddy, what's the deal here? He goes, yeah, that's the new rate. What do you mean new rate? What does this mean? He says, here's what it means. You pick up the pen and sign, you get to buy a house. You don't sign, you can be a renter. And frankly, I don't care. I already own a house. And so I hung up on him and I told my wife, we're not buying this house. You never tell Mrs. Learakos we're not doing something that she wants to do.
Smart man.
I've been married since then. And the point is, I bought the house. I was freaking out. I didn't think there was any chance I was going to be able to survive. I started doing loan business because that guy inspired me. If that guy can make a living being like that, I think I can do good being like a normal guy.
Like a halfway decent.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, customer service.
Yeah.
So the point is, when I got into the loan business, there were no pagers, no cell phones, no email, no internet, no fax machines. You showed up in the morning and you got a rate sheet. And you went all day long to real estate offices, and I would go, Ryan, here's my rates. Did it? Here's my rates. And then you would go back to the office, and for those old enough to remember, you'd get a little yellow pink slip while you were out. All these pink slips. So your report card as a loan officer was how many Bettys from Red Carpet Real Estate called you. Ted, call me back. And then you call Betty at night to find out, can you pre-qualify a client? Or better yet, the holy grail was Joe called while you were out. Betty gave him your name and number. That's better.
Okay.
So that was our day where we would come back at the office and look at while you were out. That was our report card. And then what happened is we would just basically go through the month, go through the 2 months with rates ridiculous high, and I'll never forget.
What were rates back then?
They were 13%.
Oh, man.
I mean, again,
That's
of
way up
course,
there.
People are going to say, well, yeah, but the houses were like 80 grand.
It's perspective. It's perspective. And let me tell you the perspective story.
Please.
Remember, no pagers, no cell phones, no nothing. I finish my day, I drive home. I hit the little button on the answering machine at home, and it says, you have to come back to the office right now. It's like, oh, shit.
People are listening. They're like, what button? What answering machine? What are you
Yeah,
talking
yeah,
about right
yeah.
now?
machine.
This is a throwback, but I'm going to tie it in. I'm going to tie it in to today. So I hear the message and I tell my wife, Mrs. Learakos,
This
I'm
is
getting
delicious,
fired.
by the way. I keep
Yeah, I
This
told
is
you.
awesome.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
killing it. I'm almost done. I'm going to need a refill.
There you go. So I go back to the real estate office or to the loan office because it says, go back. You got to come back. So I think I'm getting fired. I show up, there's a mariachi band in the parking lot. They're doing Taco Tuesday, but it's not Tuesday, it's Thursday. And they're all my loan officer colleagues and the processors, they're dancing, they're having a party. So I asked, why are we partying? They said, because tomorrow, when you go out, that sheet, you don't have to say teen. State Street Bank dropped the rate to 12.9999%.
They were so happy.
That'd be
We
a big
were
what-
thrilled.
Yeah.
So this is perspective.
Yeah.
So when somebody looks at interest rates today and says, oh my God, how do you handle it being this high? High, are you kidding me? If you had told me in 1980 or 1982 or 1983, 1984 that interest rates were 6%, I would have given you a drug test.
Fair enough. And I'm assuming, were there homes in the 500,000 range, like 800,000, 1.5 million range?
No, it was all perspective because, of course, wages were less, property values were less. But the point is that people buy payments. They don't buy houses at sales prices. It's really a transitional period that we're going through. And real estate agents should, and I know you guys do it, but they should attack. They should run into the burning building because this is where you establish yourself.
Yes.
When I started in 1980, there were a lot of people, including my relatives, who were thinking, this guy's nuts. What the hell's he doing? He's getting a mortgage business with interest rates in the teens?
Yeah.
You know, let's give him a drug test.
Yeah.
And I had a mullet, so
business in the front, party in the back.
Yeah, exactly.
And
exactly.
this is a question we were going to ask you is like, you know, we've heard that people make their careers in a down market. Lenders and agents, they can really make a name for themselves in a down market. It sounds like that's what you're going at.
And I got to be honest with you, I didn't do it as a strategy. I did it because I was obsessed with being better than that guy that did my mortgage loan. But as it turned out, looking back, I was the most fortunate guy in the world, because then when interest rates started trending lower and lower and lower, then all my friends wanted to be me.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's like, oh my God, we want to be Ted. Mm-hmm. You know.
So for everyone that is currently in the business and they're freaking out about rates and that nobody wants to buy a house right now, it's not that bad. I mean, when I got into the business in 2013, in real estate in 2018, and they were at between 5 and 7%. Like, people have amnesia that this just happened 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
They think that the sky is falling, and it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's true. You know, so Gary Keller of Keller Williams said, charge the storm. So basically a buffalo is like the only animal that charges towards the storm because they know that the storm will be over faster. If you run away from that storm, it's going to catch up to you and you're in it longer. So basically embrace the change.
Yeah, I've not heard that line, but that's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
That's an awesome line.
Yeah, he's a pretty smart guy.
He is, man.
He should own the largest real estate company in the world. Oh, wait, he
I know,
does.
don't you
He
think?
does, doesn't he? Doesn't he?
Keller Williams.
You know it.
Yeah.
So, which brings me to my next point. So, it is a good time to buy. Ted, why is it a good time to buy?
Well, it's a good time to buy because presumably the person buying a house needs a place to live. Here's the reality. If you don't own a house, you're going to get killed in taxes. So it's a good time to buy.
So tax purposes.
That's right.
And if you do own a house and the wife gets pregnant, well, now you need a bigger house.
Yeah.
So buying a house is twofold. One, because you need, want, or desire a house. Two, it's the safest investment. You buy stock, you buy stock. This piece of paper, your stock certificate, could be worthless.
Yeah, you can't live in it.
A lot of you guys are dealing with that right now.
Yeah, you can't live inside a stock share. You can't put a pool inside of a stock share. A stock will drop to zero, possibly. A house never hits zero. At least you have a pool and air conditioning and a place to sleep, no matter where their value is out. Real estate's still the best investment out there.
And as far as timing is concerned, everybody waiting for houses to drop. I mean, currently right now, I've already seen homes dropping 50, 100K. There's sellers that are offering to pay give you money to buy down your rate to pay for your closing costs. So if you're worried about the payment on a home, number one, you're going to get an amazing deal because either they bring the price down and you're not overpaying $100,000, which was happening just a few months ago, and you can actually buy your rate down. There's some lenders, I think you were telling us about this, and I wanted to bring this back to you, Ted.
Sure.
So specifically, that I believe one of the many differences that United American Mortgage Company or Corporation has versus other lenders that I've worked with is some lenders have a cap, which only allows a certain amount that the seller is able to pay. It happened to me. They actually cut the amount that the seller could give me. They were willing to give me more money, but they cut the amount because there's a certain percentage that that's the max they're able to give you. You guys are able to.
Well, yeah. So Al, the owner of United American, he is the smartest guy in the room. He reads tea leaves before most. He recognized that an old product was going to make a return. My hair was black and I had a mullet the last time seller paid buy downs was a thing. Mm-hmm. And while he's not as old as me, he knew that day is coming. And one of the advantages we have is that our team has access to multiple sources. Some lenders are direct lenders. Other lenders are brokers. We're a unicorn, very unique. We don't want to be huge. It's not a large company. It's not a small company. It's right in that wheelhouse of being able to negotiate deals where we can set up broker and correspondent relationships where we're able to negotiate seller-paid buy-downs. You want an example?
Yeah.
$100,000 difference between what a guy wants to pay for the house and what a seller is willing to go down. Seller says, I'll compromise. I'll go down 50. He comes up 50. Buyer says,
no chance.
Deal.
I want 100,000
No
less.
deal. In fact, I think his exact words were, you take my deal or I'll go down 150 tomorrow. So it's kind of like the shift has happened.
Yeah.
So one of the teammates, this case, David Lara.
Yeah. Oh, he's a man.
He basically goes to the selling agent and says, how about if your client, the seller, offers $50,000 in non-reoccurring closing costs if we can convince the buyer to pay the full price. Forget the $100,000 down. And of course, the word was, why would he ever do that? Because he's buying the payment. The reason he wants to go down 100 is because he wants to hit the payment based on the 3.875 he had when we started the process. Well, now it's 5.25. He wants that payment. Seller agreed, buyer closed. Everybody walked away happy. That was a deal that was going to blow up if you know,
because he couldn't afford the payment.
Right.
So what you guys did was, in a market where nobody can get a 3.875, you guys were able to actually get money for the client to buy down this interest rate to a 3.875,
Right.
and it's as if this market shift never happened.
Correct.
Aside from him being able to get that extra 50K.
I affectionately call it the turn back the clock loan because basically you're turning back the clock, lowering the rate, and the seller is paying for it. They never would have done that 3 months ago. And now, you know, Tommy, who also works in your office, and Jessica, who works in your office, we're all doing it.
And the listing agent still gets full price.
That's
Am
right.
I right?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, still
Let's
get
go.
that
Thank
commission.
you.
Thank you. I knew you boys would like
Oh,
that.
you know that.
Cheers again.
Cheers to that. You know what we care about.
Yeah.
And I have to give a shout out to Al. This is Al's Man Cave, also known as the United American Mortgage Event Center. This is awesome. These are all of his vehicles. We got a Porsche. We got a Ferrari.
We got the glass. We're drinking out of his glasses.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this place is awesome.
I'm going to need a refill on this, by the way. This is awesome.
Yeah, definitely. And also shout out to David Lara, who you just mentioned. Such a great guy. He's one of our in-house lenders over there at Keller Williams OC Coastal Realty in San Clemente, the office that both Diego and I hang our license at. And the way you guys handle clients, the way you guys interpret the market is just always on the ball. Like you said, Al reads the tea leaves.
Yeah.
Y'all are the sages of our time right now.
Yeah, bud.
Yeah.
Ooh, that was a good one.
I like
Oh, yeah.
that. I
You
like
are.
that. You
You
got
are.
that on tape, right?
Yeah,
You got that?
definitely.
Yeah, DM us if you guys have any questions. Well, we can reach out to him directly. Just make sure you let him know that you got sent by Diego and Ryan.
You know it.
Yeah, that way we get the VIG. You know what I mean? Now, going back just a tad bit, because we got some. This is awesome information. You guys better be hit and rewind if you didn't catch it, because there's some really good stuff for you guys. Realtors, buyers, sellers, everybody. The point is, again, we're giving you the information without it's trying to sell ourselves too much, right? I feel like so many companies, we're like, hey, we can help you. Like, dude, I think everybody gets the same rates. Everybody has the same programs. It's just a matter of getting the right people to actually think about these things, right, Ted?
Yeah, the power is the team. Because the point is, like you said, every mortgage company, every bank, every credit union, obviously has access to the same dollar, and they can lend it at the same dollar. So what separates us and in-house lenders in general from everyone else? And it's the team. We have an amazing system where if I am asked a question and I don't know the answer, I email 85 loan officers. What's the answer to this question? I get 85 opinions. So I'm gravy training off 2,000 years of experience added together. And so even though I started in 1980, I'm the first to admit, and it's 1980, not 1880, I didn't deliver the first loan in the Wells Fargo Stagecoach. I just want to go on record. Even though I've been doing it for a long time, There is no way that I could keep track of every single lender access program
Nobody
guideline change.
can.
Nobody
No,
can.
no.
And a lot of people are alone doing this. A lot of
Yeah.
loan officers are.
But what happens is when you've got a team, basically we assign each other. Okay, you figure out how to find out the best source for the no down payment program. You figure out the best source for the reverse mortgage purchase, where a guy doesn't make enough money, doesn't qualify, but he wants to buy a house, and he's old enough, and we share with him the simple fact is, then make a payment. It's an FHA loan. There's no prepayment penalty. People in reverse purchases who've been told by other lenders they can't get a mortgage loan. And so it's not about us, and it's about just the industry in general having to quickly adapt to the market now.
Okay, that's awesome. And the way you explain how you're able to work with your team, that's a great segue to our next question. You're an in-house lender for some of the top brokerages in Southern California. How do you make those connections? And for those watching who would like to become an in-house lender, how do they do that?
Well, it's interesting. In 2010, I made my living competing with in-house lenders. Here's what I noticed. In-house lenders were generally lazy. They felt like they deserved the business, or in some cases, high priced, because they had to pay the mothership way too much money. And so in 2010, I was approached by a gentleman who said, I'm going to help this person start a Keller Williams franchise in North Orange County. And I want you, because I know you don't want to be an in-house lender, I want you to pick the in-house lender. So you can imagine how hilarious it was, them going, wait, why do I have to talk to you? Well, because the guy's not going to talk to you until I talk to you. So I would vet them. Well, over interviewing 20, 30 different lenders, I picked Citibank, because at the time, Citibank, in my opinion, was the best source to have as an in-house lender for Keller Williams. Ultimately, Keller Williams signed a national deal. So if you look back, 2010 and 11, Citibank was the in-house lender. That's where I met Jessica.
Oh, wow.
Thanks to Ted Learakos.
Jessica was standing right next to me as my competition.
Oh, wow.
And as time went by, she said, wait, how do you do rates like that? How do you do that? So we chatted over time. And then finally she said, I want to be you. So the point is, to answer your question, we never actually wanted to be an in-house lender. What happened was, when we put this thing together, that gentleman said, thank you, we'll add Citibank. Why don't you guys come in also? So we did.
Wow.
And then word of mouth happened. That's how I met virtually everybody, including your office. We don't actually go out and look for an in-house lender relationship. And we've turned down more than we have. Because the point is, some in-house lender relationships are just seated in who's going to pay me the most money, not who can provide the best client experience. Because at the end of the day, you got to get the client the best loan.
Yes.
That is why we're sitting here.
That's right.
And if you want, I'll share with you the difference between a transactional loan officer and a relationship loan officer.
We'd love to hear that.
Okay, so when I was early in the business, I'd only been in the business for about 6 months. This is the story of Johnny Money.
That's a name right there.
Johnny Money. So I was in the business for 6 months, and my mentor, the guy who owned the company, he calls me in and he says, okay, so you've been doing this long enough. Now's the day you got to decide, do you want to be a transactional loan officer or do you want to be a relationship loan officer? And I go, I have no idea what the hell you're talking about. He says, okay, you see that guy over there? That's Johnny Money. Johnny Money takes out the trash with an Armani watch and a Rolex watch and an Armani suit. Johnny Money is driving a Ferrari. Johnny Money is just killing it. You want to be him? I go, yeah, I want to be Johnny Money.
Yeah.
He goes, okay, but here's what you got to understand. Johnny Money's going to be in the business for 5 years. He's going to maximize every dollar he can. He's going to rip clients off. The real estate agents within 3 to 5 years will never talk to him again, and he won't have any more clients. He doesn't care though, because he doesn't like the mortgage business. He's a transactional loan officer. Or you can be a relationship loan officer. So, of course, I have a wife, I have a family. I figured maybe Steady Teddy would be better than Johnny Money.
Steady Teddy. Oh, Steady Teddy in the house.
Yeah. So I made the decision, I like what I'm doing. Show me how to be the best relationship loan officer, where you leave a little money on the table to get the client the best deal. And it even goes further than that. When I started in a career, I'd literally scratch a check to pay for a guy's loan to prove to that agent that I could deliver a better loan. So I didn't make money on a loan, I lost money on a loan. But that real estate agent, to this day, sends me business. And I don't scratch any more checks.
Fucking A.
Yeah. See, that's amazing, because I'll tell you, there is that I guess there are some certain boundaries as an in-house lender you don't want to cross. And sometimes real estate brokerages are like, we want you to come over, but what are some nightmare stories that they might want to, or situations they might want to put an in-house lender in that they don't want to deal with?
Well, okay, I'll give you an example without naming names.
Sure.
We had a situation where the productivity coach, who you know actually,
Oh, yeah.
was told, you teach the clients to make 25% down offers, even if they only want to put 10% down, because that's the only way you're going to get your offer accepted. Now, bear in mind, this was that market a long time ago, like 5 months ago.
Yeah.
So the point is that we got a pre-approval letter done, and the pre-approval letter is generic because while it has the property address, we don't want to let the seller know how high can they go, or we don't want the seller to see a sales price and a loan amount and then think, okay, that can't go $1 higher. So we, per the terms of the presented offer, that's how their letter reads. So the agent makes an offer of 25% down, as per the terms of the presented offer. We get to the point where the borrower says, no, I'm only putting 10% down. Well, that's fraud.
That's fraud.
That's inappropriate.
No bueno.
Any way you cut it, slice it, or dice it, you can't do that. And so the point is, we made a decision, we're not going to be there, because you can't fly like an eagle if you're surrounded by turkeys. So we made that decision.
That's a good analogy right there. No, absolutely. And, because you have won the trust of so many people, and it's not just about the transaction, like you said. It's got so much more about what value you bring to people and coming from the right place.
It's consistent performance.
Yes.
And it's not consistent performance by just me. It's consistent performance by the entire team. I'll give you one story. I'm in Santorini, Greece. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. My cell phone goes off. I tell my wife, hang on, I got to take this call because it's 2 o'clock here.
Yeah.
PM. So I go outside, close the sliding door. There's the Aegean. It's awesome. Full moon.
So awesome.
Yeah, drinking that earlier in the evening. Yep. So you got the picture. So the realtor and the borrower are both on the phone. We don't want to lock. We want to float, because I had sent an email earlier saying I'm strongly suggesting a lock. And I said, you should not float. It's too risky. And I'm saying that now. Anytime a real estate transaction gets put together today, lock. You can worry about float downs. Al, smartest guy in the room, has negotiated all kinds of opportunities to float a locked rate down without charging the borrower. So the point is, I'm telling him, I think you should lock. He goes, no, I don't want to lock. I got to tell you, it's important you lock. Why do I want to lock? So I'm explaining it to him. We're going through this.
It's 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
Wow.
Out on the balcony. Finally, he says, okay, Ted, lock the loan. I said, okay, bye. And then from the heavens, I hear this voice. So he lock or he float? This is the guy that was on the 3rd floor above me who was trying to sleep. He's hanging over the balcony like, really? At 3 in the morning, I can't sleep because you're hacking loans?
Yeah.
You better at least tell me how this ended.
So the bottom line is, I just said, oh my God, I'm sorry. I apologize. So I go back in, tell my wife, this didn't go well, but he locked. So we send the email. So I get up the next morning, we're going to breakfast, And I hear this little voice from the corner. So, he lock or he float?
He locked.
I go, he locked. He locked.
That's great,
He
man.
locked.
Fucking better than
That's darn right, man. He better.
Yeah,
Like, seriously.
but the point is,
Yeah.
that's the commitment to consistent service that as a loan officer, you can't just be really good for a month or two or a year or two. You have to be consistent for a long time. And that's how you win over, people like yourself.
Oh, sure.
And as teams, that's what's cool. When I set the team up, it's because, I don't know if you can tell, but I'm not a young guy. I got to have somebody step up and help me. And Tommy steps up, helps me all the time. He was on Wall Street for years, so he knows stuff. Jessica, her wheelhouse, because of her background from Citi, is she does a lot of celebrity loans, which, I got some great stories, but I can't tell you because I can't name them.
Oh no, we'll tell. We'll have to interview her.
I'm ready for one more story. So obviously we got more stories, I hope. So I hear, right, because I mentioned this to another realtor friend. She's like, you weren't in the business. How could you possibly know this? So I heard that title companies, escrow companies, they used to actually take you guys out to like Cabo and stuff.
Back in the 80s.
Back
So we
in like
heard
the
that
80s,
in
90s,
90s,
early 2000s.
Until they passed that new rule.
Yeah.
The new law. But yeah, you're right. Those were the salad days, brother.
It was
Dude.
like, was it really like hookers and cocaine, like Wolf of Wall Street, like that, or
Hey,
what was
hey,
it like?
hey,
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just tell
Give
you.
us one.
Johnny Money.
Not you, Johnny
not me,
Money.
because I was married, but I got all the Johnny Money stories.
Oh, Johnny
so
Money.
they used to have a Tuesday at 2 meeting. And I got invited one time to the Tuesday at 2 meeting. And it was supposedly going to be 150 realtors. So, of course, I'm a young loan officer. I got to be there, right? And I was shocked. Johnny Money invited me because it's like, Johnny Money, aren't you going to, he goes, no, Teddy, you got to come. You got to come. So I got the address. This is before cell phones, remember? Yeah. So I had the address. I got
it up
my.
on MapQuest, or?
No.
This is before MapQuest.
That was a Thomas guy.
Thomas guide, baby. Yeah,
man,
you just aged
Thomas
yourself.
guide, yeah.
So I got my Thomas guide. So I find this place, and it's like, okay, I got to get off at Bellflower Boulevard at 91. I got to make a right. I got to make a left. I'm at a strip club.
Tuesday at 2.
Tuesday at 2. They did this every Tuesday at 2.
Oh.
And they had a guy. He was a linebacker for the Washington Redskins in his former life.
Well, they're not that anymore.
Yeah.
What are they called now?
Commanders?
Oh, yeah, Commanders. Commanders. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, people ruin that.
So Big Frank, he was the title guy. As a retired lineman, he became a title guy. So he would sit there with a head of lettuce, just throwing money to get the girls to come to all of the real estate agents. They were all men.
Wait. So you brought real estate agents in for this?
Tuesday at 2.
Tuesday at 2?
Tuesday at 2.
What better way to get...
better way?
Like, again, this is before...
Hey, this is a not boring podcast, right?
I mean, we're all still politically correct, right?
Yeah.
Pronouns and all that stuff. But men... Realtors, I mean, what better way to entice them to do business with you?
Yeah, that's a hard one to say no to, man.
Those were the 80s,
Yeah,
They really were like that,
it
man.
really
I
was.
know,
Yeah,
like,
it really
That
was.
is awesome.
Like they feel like wives' tales at this point, because just like how crazy it is. I'm sure somewhere down the line, Karen was complaining about Stacy's short skirt, and here we are. They can't even take you out anymore.
No. It's but I got to tell you, most of what went on in the 80s was completely inappropriate, and I'm glad it's over. And the licensing for loan officers is very helpful, because a lot of the loan officers that I worked alongside, you learn a lot from people that are not good. You learn a lot from people that are good. Like, I watch Al work, I learn a lot. I watch Tommy work, or Jessica, or German. German's awesome too. I watch them work. They're fantastic. But then, back in my day, I used to watch guys that weren't so good work, and it's like, okay, I'll do the opposite of that, and I think I'm going to do good.
We think you've done great.
Yeah, man. You are. You've created such a legacy for yourself. Ted the Legend.
It kind of worked out. So Sonny, let me tell you about Sonny. Sonny was 90 years old when I was like 35. And Sonny would come in at 10 o'clock every morning with the Wall Street Journal. he would read the Wall Street Journal from cover to cover. Then he'd pick up the phone and he'd call a client. He'd say, hey, on page 6, section 5 of the Wall Street Journal, looks like the article reads that the rates are going to probably start going up. You should probably go a little quicker. And then he'd pick up the phone and he'd call another guy and he'd say, hey, on page 22, looks like rates could come down. So I think you should apply right away and get pre-approved. I watched this dude. It's like he had an article for every narrative. And then he would leave to go golf for 3 hours because there were no pagers, there were no cell phones. He could just disappear, come back, and he would look at his "we were out" messages. So I learned about how you kind of peruse articles to get information to advise your clients appropriately. But then I also learned that technology always wins. I can't golf. Well, I can't golf. Even if I could golf, I can't golf. But the point is that you can't disappear anymore. And I brought a visual aid of technology.
Oh, dude!
Would you like to see
yes,
this?
I want
we got
to
to
see
see
that.
this.
Like to see
Yo,
this?
you guys got to check this out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here.
So how do we get the camera to like zoom in on this stuff?
So
here?
that's okay.
Here is the
Here we go.
visual aid. Can you see that? Can you see that right there?
Pull one of them out. Pull out the SkyTel.
Let's start with this. The original loan officer job was to go back to your office, read your messages, and then you call back clients. Then the game changer. This was the game changer.
Game changer.
This is a pager.
Oh, man.
And every loan officer and drug dealer had to have one of these.
It's either a lender or a drug dealer, one or
And
the other.
then when your page went off that Betty from Red Carpet had a client,
Betty Nugs.
you turned over, and you put your dime in the payphone to call the client.
Oh yeah.
So I got like $100 worth of dimes because this is a game changer. So then what happened was payphone went to 25 cents. So now I got to go get $100 worth of nickels because I got all these stupid dimes. But then this progressed. We didn't need this anymore. We got one of these bad boys.
Oh, man. It looks like
buddy, look at that.
Yeah.
old school
Sprint.
cordless phone,
Yeah,
man.
and
Wow.
in the first one I can't bring you because it was actually a car phone.
Oh, man.
My car phone bill was $2,000.
$2,000.
And you couldn't take it out of the car. So I would drive home and my wife would look out the windows like the idiot's going to be in the car for an hour because I couldn't end a call.
Wait, did you have a drop top or was it? What kind of car was it?
Yeah, it has a convertible
Oh
Mercedes.
yeah,
Oh,
with
that's
the
a-
mullet.
that's
Still have it.
Love it.
Still have it.
Oh,
yeah, still
love
have it.
Yeah.
So then came the flip phone.
Oh, the flipper.
Yeah, the flip phone. You
Oh
know?
yeah, I
And
remember.
then-
I remember those.
Then we took a step back in time because this was a company phone, Beverly Hills Savings and Loan. God rest their soul.
Oh, Savings and
they
Loan.
They went out of business. They got seized by the federal government, and I got their phone.
Caught on fire during the riots
They
or
didn't.
something.
They didn't take you with them, did they?
They didn't take me with them. No. I landed first. So then came this one. Then came all the Blackberries.
Oh, there's
and
the Blackberries.
I was a crackberry. Every
Oh,
time a
man.
new one came out, I had to have it.
Oh,
had to have
man.
it. So there you go.
Crackberry.
So there's the
Wow.
It's like a history
What?
of phones.
history of phones.
Put
is
those in a
awesome.
museum.
Yeah,
dude.
it should be in a museum.
Yeah, some think I should be in a museum, but whatever.
That is awesome.
man, dude, I'm having such a blast on
Yeah,
this.
man, you've been a lot of fun. It's been fun hanging
It's
with you.
the Revenge of Zorba.
Revenge of Zorbo. So Zorbo is Zeus.
Zorba. Zorba's after the movie Zorba the Greek with Anthony Quinn. So this
Well, I need some ice. I might take a little.
go for it. Yeah.
There you go, man.
Yeah.
Straight to the point.
Yeah.
Lovely. Look, no faces. I loved it. It was really good.
Yeah, this tastes so good. This is like a step way above Jägermeister.
It is.
Way above Jaeger. It's got such a good quality taste to it. It's refreshing, like you said.
The
This is
Greeks are doing it right.
Perfect to sit on the ocean
Is it on the beach?
and
Yeah.
chill out.
Right.
That is so sweet.
Hell yeah. Okay, so quick break. Anything that you want to talk about before we get on to like maybe a couple things? Because obviously we're kind of winding down, but anything else that you want to bring up that might help us or you get more business, anything like that, or anything that might just be on your mind?
You know, I agreed to be here today because I wanted to help promote you guys. I'm not here for me. You know, people will know how to get my team and me when the time is appropriate. That's not why I'm here today. I'm not here to promote me. You notice we're not talking about loan programs. There's no reason to talk about loan programs. Look, our job is to promote you, because if you guys and your flock that follow you don't list a house, take a buyer out, become a buyer, if they don't act, there's nothing for us to do. We are literally at the mercy of your hard work. And I've been so impressed with not only the podcast, but just how you handle your business. You guys are just doing it the right way, and I can't tell you how much I enjoy watching y'all work.
Oh man, it's just, thank you so much for
Thank you,
saying
brother.
that. It
Thank
means
you
a
so
lot
much.
coming from you, and you're just such a genuine guy, so kind, so giving, and it's just like it's just an honor to be here with you today, and you're full of wisdom, and I think every lender should strive to be like you, do business like you, be the person you are, because it's not just where you are in your business, it's where you are in your life.
Thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I really appreciate you saying that.
Get over here.
Yeah. All right.
There's just too many Johnny Moneys in the business.
Yeah.
Too many.
We wish him
guys.
well wherever he is.
Yeah. You guys get a haircut every 2 days. You're driving something you can't afford, and you were eating Mastros every Tuesday. Now you're eating cup of noodles all week, basically, is what's happening.
Yeah.
If you were to maybe just listen to a couple of things that Ted said today, I think you might stay in business for a little bit longer than 5 years.
Yeah, my closing remark is just simply going to be this. Never try and read a client and make an opinion of if you're wasting your time. We have a rule, nobody gets denied for a loan. Everybody walks away with a recipe how to be approved. Now, some, their recipe is you got to get out of jail. Some, your recipe is you got to end your bankruptcy. Some, your recipe is you probably need to find a job. But the point is, everybody gets a plan to be able to facilitate a real estate transaction. That's the secret to success. And I had one great story I'm going to leave you with. I got a call when I was at Security Pacific Bank. They did a rotation system. So I get a call. I have to drive to Encino. I lived at the time in Orange. I have to drive to Encino. I have to drive by 1,500 Security Pacific Bank loan officers to get there, but that was their system. So I show up, and the guy answers the door. He's got cigarettes rolled up in his sleeve like James Dean. He offers me a Pabst Blue Ribbon beer.
PBR, man.
He has like one of those mustaches.
He was a beauty. He was just a beauty. His jeans, he was like ahead of his time. He had holes in his jeans, and he's sitting on his couch. He offers me a beer, and he says, I'm buying a $1 million house right down the street, and I need a loan. I said, I'm thinking at this point, what a waste of my friggin' time driving all the way out here. Okay, so I'm going to first ask you how much loan. He said $600,000. So that got my attention. It's like, this dude's got access to that kind of down payment? I said, okay. So what do you do for a living? He goes, well, I work at Caltrans. And I'm thinking, okay, there we go. I wasted my time. Okay, so just out of curiosity, how are you going to make the payment with your Caltrans salary? He goes, well, my patent helps me. Your patent, what's your patent? He goes, well, when you were driving over here, did you see the bumps that are on the road? I go, yeah. He said, I work for Caltrans. He said, I rented right near a plastics factory. I went to the plastics factory and I got scrap plastic, and I would mold it into half domes, and I would put epoxy glue, and I would put it along where we were because I was afraid people were going to run into us while we were working. And I decided, I should probably patent this. I patent this. I get 1/4 cent for every one you see on your drive home.
That's amazing.
Wow. Yeah, that's awesome.
He never needed me again. He paid cash for everything after that.
Oh my God.
But the point is, never try and read your client and come to the assumption that they are something.
Oh, I've been surprised before.
Assuming? Oh, yeah.
I've met who are good friends now. And I'm sure he'll watch this later, and he knows I'm talking about him. And I see him at a bar, and he's like, "Hey, we're talking," and he brings out this bottle of mezcal, in Spanish mezcal, right? And he's like, "Hey, you want some?" And he's like, "What's mezcal?" And I'm like, "What do you know about mezcal?" Like my family's from like deep south in Mexico. We make it. My grandfather makes it. And I'm like, how would you? He's like, it's from a small town. It's in Guerrero. I'm like, hey, my family's from Guerrero. Turns out we're from this, like our family's from the same small town, and he ends up basically saying, I'm going to buy a house from you one day.
What a small world. And you're thinking, no, come on.
Yeah, I'm like, we're just at the bar. You know, I've ran into 1,000 guys that say that they're, you know, because they know, you know, we're in Anaheim. It's a small town. It's not small, but everybody knows each other there. And I'm like, cool. You know, I don't write them off, but I'm just like, sure, whenever you're ready, let me know. Ends up buying a $750,000 property in Fullerton. And you know, even his own family told him not to.
Perfect example. Yeah.
So like, yeah, don't write everybody off, because they're gonna surprise you. There's people that come out, and then there's the ones that you think will close.
The other way around.
Yeah. That are wearing that Armani suit and the Rolex.
Johnny Money.
Johnny Monies.
Couldn't qualify to buy a bike.
Oh,
That's
Johnny
right.
Money.
He was 3 months late on the Ferrari payment. And Nordstrom's was waiting for him to bring the suit back.
All right.
Oh man, this was awesome.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed it.
Oh, this was great. So we're here, Orange County, California, right here in Al's Man Cave, United American Mortgage, Ted Learakos. You have been such a legend today, man. Thank you so much for everything.
It's been awesome, brother. Thank you so much.
Such a pleasure. And we really appreciate everybody for tuning in. Hit like, follow us, shout us out, because like we just want to pass the word and pass the wisdom around to everybody in our industry and outside of our industry who are looking to buy and sell. So thanks for tuning in.
And a word from our sponsors. We don't have any. So, so if you want to sponsor us, if you guys like what you see, if you think that this is definitely something that you would want to help us keep going, as well as promote yourself on our show, hit us up. We can get something worked out. At least send me a freaking t-shirt.
Yeah, absolutely.
Hey, if you guys want to donate, we can check out our Venmo. We'll go ahead and post a link to our Venmo. Just send me money, just to, you know.
Yeah, send them money.
I'll show you a titty. I don't care. Let's do it. You know?
Tuesday at 2.
Yeah, Tuesday at 2. Yeah. That's all you get, though.
No, yeah. This was awesome, Ted. Thank you so
again.
much. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. If you've heard some noise, it's because we're right here next to John Wayne Airport in Orange County. Other than that, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time. Good night. We love you.